We all think we know the story of the thirsty crow, right? It's one of those classic fables we learn as kids about being clever and working hard. But what if the lesson we all picked up isn't really the whole story? Today, we're going to dive into a modern rematch of this ancient tale. So for centuries, this story has taught a pretty simple moral about just sticking with it. But, let's be real. In our world of high-speed everything and crazy innovation, does that old school lesson still hold water? Or is it maybe time for an update? All right, let's frame this as a debate, a real showdown. In the first corner, we have the original, the classic, the method we all learned as kids. Let's meet our reigning champion. Yeah, you know this move. The poor thirsty crow finds a pitcher of water, but the level is just too low. So what does it do? It starts the slow, painstaking task of dropping in pebbles one by one by one. It's a total story of pure grit and determination. And that right there, that's the traditional moral in a nutshell. For generations, the lesson was simple. Perseverance pays off. If you had a wall, you just keep pushing, keep working, and eventually you'll get there. It's a powerful message for sure. But what if there's another way? Let's bring in the challenger, who represents a whole new school of thought. One that kind of asks, is working hard always the best way to work? So in this modern version of the story, the crow stops for a second. It actually looks around. And what does it spot? A tool, a simple discarded straw. Instead of all that heavy lifting, it just uses the straw and gets its drink right away. No sweat, no strain, just a really smart, efficient solution. And this slide just lays out the two competing philosophies perfectly. On one side, you have the brute force, the work harder mentality. And on the other, you have the work smarter approach, which is all about observation and using the right tools for the job. You see, the debate isn't just about solving the problem, it's about how you solve it. Working smarter isn't just about finding a clever shortcut. Other modern takes on this fable explore different kinds of intelligence. Maybe the smartest play is to collaborate, share the prize. Or maybe it's about having the self-awareness to realize you were overthinking a simple problem from the very beginning. So we have these two big ideas battling it out, work harder versus work smarter. But here's the cool part. This isn't just some philosophical debate. We can actually bring in a judge who only deals in facts, science. So what do real crows actually do? Okay, first, a super quick physics lesson. I promise it won't hurt. The whole pebble method works because of something called water displacement. When you put an object in water, it pushes that water out of the way, making the level rise. This is the core science the crow is using, whether it knows the fancy name for it or not. So, do real crows actually get this? Oh, absolutely. The scientific studies on corvids, that's the bird family with crows and ravens, are just fascinating. These birds don't just randomly drop stuff into water. They seem to have an intuitive grasp of water displacement. They'll actually pick heavy objects that sink over light ones that float. They even seem to size up the situation beforehand to see if all the effort is even worth it. And this is the crucial point, right? A real crow is a master of efficiency. It's not trying to prove how hard it can work. It's just trying to get that drink. So science actually sides with our challenger. A real crow would probably use the pebbles, yeah, but only if a straw wasn't lying around. It's always looking for the most effective solution. So, after this whole modern rematch, where do we land? What's the ultimate lesson? What's the new updated moral we should take away from all this? I think it all comes down to this. The real lesson isn't just about perseverance. It's about strategic perseverance. Hard work is absolutely vital, but it's most powerful when you apply it to a smart strategy. The goal isn't just to be busy, it's to actually be effective. So that really leaves us with a question to think about, doesn't it? In your own life, when you're faced with your next metaphorical picture, that thing that's just out of reach, are you going to automatically start looking for pebbles to drop in? Or will you take a moment, look around, and see if there's a straw nearby? The choice is yours. Thanks for tuning in.